Hey everyone, and welcome back to Joyful Clicks. Today we're diving headfirst into the fascinating world of last words. You know, those final utterances, those parting shots from some of history's biggest movers and shakers. Because let's be real, there's something undeniably compelling about last words. They offer a glimpse into someone's final thoughts, a final message to the world. Were they filled with regret, acceptance, maybe even a little dark humor? Over the next few episodes, we'll be exploring the stories behind some of history's most famous last words. The tales of triumph and tragedy, the whispers of genius and despair. We'll unpack their meaning, their historical context, and what they tell us about the human experience. So buckle up, grab your thinking caps, and let's get started. Prepare to be amazed, maybe a little heartbroken, but definitely entertained. All right, let's kick things off with one of the most famous phrases in history. Et tu, Brute? These words, spoken in Latin, translate to you too, Brutus. And they were, according to legend, the last words uttered by none other than Julius Caesar. Now, Caesar, as many of you know, was kind of a big deal in ancient Rome. We're talking general, politician, dictator for life. The guy was a rock star, but like many rock stars, his star eventually faded on March 15th, 44 BC. A date famously known as the Ides of March. Caesar met his end in a rather dramatic fashion. Picture this, the Roman Senate, a bunch of toga-clad politicians arguing about, well, probably politics. Caesar, unaware of the plot brewing against him, enters the Senate, and that's when it all goes down. A group of senators, led by some familiar names, Cassius, Casca, and of course, Brutus, surround Caesar. Daggers are drawn, and in a chaotic frenzy they strike. Caesar, initially shocked, tries to fight back. He was, after all, a military man. But as he sees Brutus among his attackers, his friend and protege, he utters those famous words, Et tu, Brute? There's debate among historians about whether Caesar actually said these words. Some argue they were a later invention, while others believe they were recorded by eyewitnesses. Regardless, the phrase captures the utter betrayal Caesar felt in that moment. Imagine being stabbed in the back, literally, by the people you trusted most. Et tu, Brute? This phrase has transcended its historical context to become a universal expression of betrayal. We use it to describe the pain of being wronged by someone we thought was on our side. The assassination of Caesar was a pivotal moment in Roman history. It marked the end of the Roman Republic and the beginning of the Roman Empire. And while Caesar's last words might be shrouded in uncertainty, one thing's for sure, they serve as a stark reminder of the complexities of power, loyalty, and the human capacity for both great love and ultimate betrayal. From the Roman Senate, we fast forward a few centuries and find ourselves in the heart of the French Revolution. The year is 1793, and our next subject is none other than Marie Antoinette, the last queen of France before the Revolution. Born an Austrian archduchess, Marie Antoinette lived a life of privilege and extravagance, earning her the nickname Madame Deficit for her lavish spending. But her reign, like Caesar's, wouldn't end well. The French Revolution, fueled by social and economic inequality, swept across France, ultimately leading to the abolition of the monarchy and the execution of King Louis XVI. Marie Antoinette, viewed as a symbol of the old regime's excesses, was imprisoned along with her children. After a show trial, Marie Antoinette was found guilty of treason and sentenced to death by guillotine. On October 16, 1793, she was transported to the Place de la Révolution in Paris, where a large crowd had gathered to witness the execution. Now imagine the scene. The somber mood, the murmurs of the crowd, the chilling sight of the guillotine looming large. As Marie Antoinette climbed the steps, she accidentally stepped on the executioner's foot. It was a moment of unexpected human interaction amidst the chaos and brutality. And in that instant, Marie Antoinette, stripped of her title, her power, and soon her life, uttered a simple apology. "Pardon me, sir, I did not do it on purpose." These words, her last, paint a poignant picture of humanity. Even in the face of death, even after being demonized and stripped of her dignity, Marie Antoinette showed compassion. Her last words weren't a desperate plea for mercy or a final act of defiance. They were a simple apology, a testament to her character, even in her final moments. Marie Antoinette's life and death continue to fascinate us today. Her story is a reminder of the fickle nature of power, the chaos of revolution, and the enduring power of human dignity, even in the face of unimaginable adversity. All right, Crash Course viewers, in the last episode, we explored the poignant last words of Marie Antoinette. In this episode, we're diving deep into the world of a true Renaissance man, a painter, an inventor, a scientist, Leonardo da Vinci. As he breathed his last breath, he uttered, "I have offended God and mankind because my work did not reach the quality it should have." Can you imagine achieving so much and still feeling this way? Da Vinci, the man who gave us the Mona Lisa, the Vitruvian Man, and countless inventions, felt like he hadn't done enough. It's a testament to his relentless pursuit of knowledge and perfection, a pursuit that continues to inspire us centuries later. These words, spoken in a moment of vulnerability, offer us a glimpse into the complex mind of a genius. Was he being too hard on himself? Maybe. But they also reveal a deep-seated humility, a recognition that there's always more to learn, more to explore, and perhaps in a way they serve as a challenge to us, a challenge to push ourselves beyond our perceived limits, to strive for excellence in all that we do, just like Leonardo da Vinci did. Now, some of you might be thinking, hold on, offended God and mankind? This is the guy who painted the Mona Lisa. What more could he have possibly done? And you wouldn't be wrong to think that. Da Vinci's achievements are nothing short of extraordinary. His paintings, like the Last Supper and the Mona Lisa, are instantly recognizable masterpieces, studied and admired by millions around the world. But his genius extended far beyond the canvas. He was a master of anatomy, meticulously dissecting human bodies to understand their inner workings. He was an engineer, designing flying machines, war machines, and even robots, centuries before their time. He was a scientist, studying botany, geology, optics, you name it. Da Vinci probably dabbled in it. His notebooks are filled with sketches, inventions, and observations that continue to astound us. So when we consider the sheer breadth and depth of his work, it makes his final words all the more perplexing. But maybe that's the point. Maybe true genius lies not just in accomplishment, but in the constant yearning for more, the never-ending quest for improvement. Da Vinci's life, much like his unfinished works, leaves us with a sense of wonder and a touch of melancholy. He left behind numerous unfinished paintings, inventions that never quite came to fruition, and ideas that were simply ahead of their time. But maybe that's okay. Maybe the beauty lies in the journey, in the constant pursuit of knowledge and innovation. Maybe it's the unfinished symphonies, the half-painted canvases, the unrealized dreams that truly capture the essence of human ambition. And maybe, just maybe, those unfinished works serve as a reminder that none of us are ever truly finished. There's always more to learn, more to create, more to experience. So as we move on to our next set of famous last words, let's carry with us the spirit of Leonardo da Vinci. The insatiable curiosity, the relentless pursuit of excellence, and the humbling awareness that even in the face of greatness, there's always more to strive for. Winston Churchill crammed multiple lifetimes into 90 years. Prime Minister, Nobel Prize winner, historian, painter. He did it all. Yet his final words were, "I'm bored with it all." Was it genuine boredom or a statement on history's monotony? Did he find peace after a lifetime of storms? See, the thing about boredom is that it's such a loaded word. We often associate it with a lack of stimulation, a kind of existential ennui. But for someone like Churchill, who thrived on challenges and pushed himself relentlessly, could boredom have been a sign of acceptance? Think about it. When you face down dictators and witness the best and worst of humanity, maybe the mundane aspects of existence, the things we often find boring, take on a different meaning. Perhaps in those final moments, Churchill found a strange sort of serenity in the ordinariness of it all. Or maybe, just maybe, he was being his characteristically witty self, leaving us with a final quip, a mischievous parting shot. After all, this was a man who famously said, "I am ready to meet my maker." Whether my maker is prepared for the great ordeal of meeting me is another matter. So, was he truly bored? Or was he offering a final, enigmatic reflection on a life lived to the fullest? Like so much about Churchill, his last words remain open to interpretation, a testament to the complexity of the man himself. Regardless of how we interpret his final words, one thing is certain. Winston Churchill left an undeniable mark on the world. His courage during World War II, his eloquence as a speaker, his wit, his flaws, they all contribute to a legacy that continues to fascinate and inspire. And maybe, just maybe, that's the point. Maybe those two words, "I'm bored," weren't meant to be taken literally. Maybe they were a final act of defiance, a way of saying, I've lived my life on my own terms, and I'll face death the same way. Or maybe, and this is just me spitballing here, maybe he was genuinely bored. After all, even the most extraordinary lives have their share of mundane moments. Either way, Churchill's last words serve as a reminder that even the most iconic figures are ultimately human, grappling with the same existential questions we all face. So the next time you find yourself feeling bored, remember Winston Churchill. Remember the man who stared down tyranny and then perhaps stared down death with a similar mix of defiance and weary acceptance. From a leader who shaped nations, we turn now to a composer who shaped the very sound of emotion, Ludwig van Beethoven. Now, imagine spending your life surrounded by music, only to gradually lose your hearing. That's the cruel irony that Beethoven faced, and yet he continued to compose some of his most powerful works while profoundly deaf. Talk about dedication, right? It's like the universe decided to play the most heartbreaking prank on a man who dedicated his life to sound. And yet, Beethoven's spirit, much like his music, remained defiant. He famously said, "I will seize fate by the throat. It shall certainly not bend and crush me completely." And he did seize it, didn't he? He wrestled with his deafness, with the limitations it imposed, and emerged triumphant, composing masterpieces like the Ninth Symphony, with its iconic Ode to Joy, a testament to the human spirit's ability to find hope even in the face of despair. But even for a titan like Beethoven, the final curtain had to fall. His last words, reportedly uttered on a stormy March night, were as dramatic and poignant as his music. Friends applaud, the comedy is over. Now, you could interpret this in a few ways. Some argue that the comedy refers to life itself, with all its joys and sorrows, triumphs and tragedies. It's a perspective that resonates, right? We enter the world, we play our parts, experience the full spectrum of human emotions, and then the curtain falls. Others believe the comedy refers to a specific theatrical tradition of the time, where a lighthearted play would often follow a more serious performance. In this context, Beethoven's words take on a more literal meaning, perhaps a simple acknowledgement of the end of a performance. Regardless of the interpretation, there's a certain poetic beauty to Beethoven's final words. It's as if he were conducting his own departure, acknowledging the end with a mix of resignation and maybe even a touch of dark humor. Silence, after all, was the one thing he couldn't conquer, the one adversary that even his genius couldn't overcome. And yet, in a way, Beethoven's legacy is a triumph over silence. His music continues to resonate with millions around the world, a testament to the enduring power of human creativity. So, while the man himself may have succumbed to the silence, his music ensures that the applause never truly fades. He might have felt the comedy was over, but for us, the audience, the symphony continues, a timeless testament to the power of music to move, inspire, and endure. And that, my friends, brings us to the end of our exploration of famous last words. From Caesar's betrayal to Marie Antoinette's unfortunate faux pas, from Da Vinci's humility to Churchill's enigmatic boredom, and finally to Beethoven's dramatic farewell, these parting words offer a fascinating glimpse into the minds and hearts of these historical figures. If you enjoyed this deep dive into history's most intriguing goodbyes, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more fascinating insights into the past. And be sure to let us know in the comments which last words resonated with you the most. Was it the stoicism of a Roman emperor, the wit of a British Prime Minister, or the poetic resignation of a musical genius? Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep those brain synapses firing. See you in the next video.